Welcome to the inaugural episode of Ecopod with Pfsee, a podcast for exploring the intersection of environmental conservation, education, and sustainability. I am your host, Esther Michael is my name, and I am excited to embark on this journey with you. Joining me today is the Executive Director of Print Right Foundation for Sustainable Environment and Education, Pfsee. He is a passionate advocate for environmental sustainability and education. He is also known as Idea Bank. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Esther. I'm glad to be doing this with you.
Thank you. Congratulations, sir, on the inaugural launch of Ecopod.
Thank you.
Sir, please, could you share with us what inspired you to create this platform and also what you intend to achieve with the platform?
Thank you so much, Esther, for having me once again.
Welcome, sir.
Happy to be sharing this time with you. Like it's rightly said, necessity does not have an option. And I believe that education is very important to environmental sustainability. They say that education is power. If people are not educated, you don't expect so much from them. Okay, so we believe that sharing information about environmental sustainability, sharing information about our environment largely to the world will help educate a lot of people, especially our children, especially those who are in the primary schools. We believe that's where we're supposed to start from. Okay, so if we educate them early, they grow up with the consciousness of the environment. They know how to manage the environment. They know how to keep environment clean. They know how to protect the environment. Okay, so this is part of why we decided to have this podcast where we share at different times different issues concerning environmental sustainability.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for giving us this insight on why the platform is created to educate and sensitize the public on environmental issues. I must say that this is a bold step the organization has taken, and I hope that more of the audience will key into what we are doing in different episodes. We'll be sharing with them, and also they will also make their own individual commitments and contributions towards the sustainability of environment. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, and also, I know Print Right over time, they have been working tirelessly. Even within the short period of time they have been established and recognized with the government. Can you use this platform to share to our audience the mission and vision of Print Right Foundation?
All right, thank you so much. So our vision primarily is to eliminate illiteracy and promote environmental sustainability.
Okay.
And the center of our mission is actually to use the education, the tool of education, right, to sensitize communities, sensitize organizations, sensitize government, such that it can also lead to policies, okay, that will enable us eliminate environmental, issues, right? Like we see everywhere in the world today. You see fire in California, you see water, you see, there are different issues. If you go to places like Port Harcourt, you see there is that suit that you see, and these are part of the challenges of having a very terrible environmental culture, right? So these things build up, and over time they affect us. They affect us health-wise. They affect us in several other ways. Okay, so we believe that if embarking on this journey of using the educational tools, or using education as a tool, all right, to sensitize our environment, we will be doing ourselves a lot of favor, because with that we're able to get people empowered, so they know exactly what to do and how to go about managing the environment. Yes, but that's what we have our environment is what we have. If we don't take care of it, then our environment will not take care of us.
Exactly. I like that phrase. Thank you so much, sir, for educating the audience on the need to take care of the environment. And in return, the environment also takes care of us as humans. Permit me to take us back a bit. You earlier on the first question, you talked about the vision and mission of PFC, which you said to eliminate illiteracy and promote environmental sustainability. These are two keywords. It's very, very important. Could you please tell us what PFC has done over time, what you are doing presently, and what you intend to do in future in line with your vision?
Thank you, Esther. Before I even go into that, so part of our goal, we pursue 3 strategic sustainable development goals.
Okay.
Goal 4, Goal 13, and Goal 15. Goal 4 talks about quality education. We have climate action as Goal 13, and then life on land. And these are critical to the formation of our vision and our mission. But in looking at what we have done before now, we have seen several cases of the effect of climate change. Okay. And some of them are a product of, deforestation. Some of them are a product of poor environmental management practice. And so we decided that we were going to make some adjustment. All right. We've seen cases of plastic usage and how plastic has messed up a whole lot. There are countries you travel to in the world, you don't go into the shopping mall, you have to pay for a plastic bag. All right, but in Nigeria it's a lot different. And so we've seen some of these practices here and there that has really affected our environment, and is affecting our environment on a daily basis. So we at PFC decided that we're going to make those adjustments, see how we can reduce the use of plastics, and because plastics, of course, they are not degradable. So we decided we're going to see how we can use a lot more of paper. All right, but we also got to understand that every paper is the product of a tree cut down. So for every paper you see, a tree must go down. All right. So we decided that in promoting the use of, or in reducing the use of plastic, you'll find out that more paper will be used.
Yes.
All right. Now, but for that to be sustainable in itself, we must find a way to replant the trees that are cut down
to produce
okay,
the papers.
so and this is also part of why you find out in our programs we have things like iPads, I Plant a Tree. We have programs that focus on education and providing notebooks to students and the likes, but the core of it, like I said in our mission, is to sensitize, is to educate children. And so we've given this power beyond organizations, beyond adults. We've taken this part of the children. So we set up clubs in schools. These are part of the things we've done. We set up clubs in schools to educate children on, how to plant and nurse trees. And at the end of the day, the children are rewarded with notebooks. So what it means is, for every notebook you're going to use for a particular term, you're going to produce a tree for that. All right. So that's part of the program that we have implemented, and so we've also seen cases where you go to the shopping malls, you go to roadsides, and you see a lot of people using plastic bags, to package things and take home. And so we felt like for us to do something sustainable, we must find a way to replace them. We can't you can't tell people to stop using plastic bags if you don't find alternatives for them. And so we came up with things like PAC. PAC simply means plastic alternative container. And then we also have what we call street food. These are paper bags, made from recycled papers, because sometimes you also have issues with paper waste. So you have a lot of paper waste but are not in use. Okay, so people use paper and then trash it, and sometimes they clog our gutters, and then you see them lying in different places, from classrooms to offices. All right, so what we decided to do is to see how we can use recycled papers to produce these plastic alternative containers. Number one. Secondly, to also use them to produce our street food paper bags. So people can now use the street food paper bags, to package materials as against the use of plastics. And then, of course, there are several other interventions we have also pursued. And then we also have partnership with quite a number of organizations like the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Environment, and a couple of others, CODAF, etc. Right, to see how we can further push this, this agenda of looking for ways to replace the use of plastic. And while we're replacing the use of plastic, we're also planting trees. As we progress. Right, so we want to make it a community thing where everybody, becomes a part of it. Everybody, plays a role in making this a possibility. All right, we've seen a lot of real estate companies, building estates here and there, but there are no plans to, plant trees around the estates and things like that. These are things that we think we'll be able to do to help our society.
Thank you so much, sir. You, within this short period of time, you're able to elaborate what you have done, and I think you just within a few minutes you're able to tell us what you have done in years, what you are doing presently, and what you intend to do in future. I must say that Print Right Foundation is actually doing a remarkable job. This is so impressive. We are grateful to have your foundation to be in existence and also to help some of the environmental issue. You mentioned that in a way of giving back, because papers are products of trees.
Yeah.
So for every paper produced, there must be a tree cut down.
Definitely.
So this is very, very sensitive part and sensible as well. At least most companies, where they get their resources from, and the factories, the companies where they get their raw materials from, they don't actually have this thought of giving back to where they get from. So I must say that in all, Print Right Foundation is actually doing a remarkable job so far. Thank you. Even the earth, the planet himself, and the environment really appreciates what you are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Also, in the cost of mentioning or explaining, giving us an insight of what PFC has been doing and what you are doing, you were able to highlight some of the environmental challenges, which brings us to the next question. Though you've mentioned some of them, I want you to tell us more about some of the environmental issues the world is facing, especially Nigeria in particular. Can you throw more light on some of these environmental issues? And afterwards, we'll now look at some of how we can mitigate, because already I know that Print Right is taking a boost step in a way of combating some of these issues. So let's, with our audience, they are all listening to us. We want them to also have more idea of some of, because sometimes they don't really see this as challenges because of one or two individual steps they have taken. But let's throw more light on some of the environmental issues so that we'll, at least this is a platform to educate ourselves.
Thank you, Esther. So you see, when it comes to the environment, everybody is a part of it.
Okay.
All right, everybody, whether you like it or not. Okay, so today we see that temperatures are rising, and you hear people complaining the heat is too much. Now, these are effects of climate change. All right, we've seen flood happen year in, year out, and you see communities go underwater. Just of recent in California, we saw the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of these are the effects of climate change. Right?
Yeah.
Again, we also move around. All right, and you find out and go to the hospitals, you find a lot of cases around malaria, typhoid, and things like that. Many of these sicknesses are product of poor management of our environment. All right, so the issues around the environment is actually everywhere.
Yeah.
It's around us completely. So, and we cannot shy away from it. Sometimes it seems like we don't really know. Sometimes, all right? Sometimes a lot of people are not even aware of the effect of poorly managing their environment. And so this is why we decided to say, okay, let's see if we can properly educate our community by starting with our children. Today we have C Club, Sustainable Environment and Education Club, in about 20 schools in the FCT. Okay, so, and with that, we can boldly say we have over 2,000 children already within this club that we are, educating, training, and also sensitizing, and so we think it won't end with them. They will carry it forward. So now they know how to manage the environment better. They know what it means to plant trees. They know what it means not to cut down trees. They know what it means, to the effect or the impact of using plastic bags, right? Now, beyond that, even in the planting of trees, we had created some very interesting initiatives by using paper waste, right, to create biodegradable pots.
Wow.
I wish I have a copy here. I would have shown you, right? Let me see if I can even get you a copy so you see what I'm talking about, right? So if you see, you find out that when people are nursing trees, when gardeners are trying to nurse trees, okay, you find out that they use nylon bags to nurse trees. But today, we at PFC have been able to, this is made from paper, 100%, and it's purely biodegradable. Meaning, if I nurse my tree with this, I don't even need to bring it out. I bury it with it.
It adds more nutrients.
Yeah, and so it will add more value to the soil, and then become beneficial to the plant itself. All right, so these are initiatives that we're creating, and our children, the children we're talking about in these 20 schools, know how to make this. So papers are no longer, a menace in our society, but now they can be put to good use. Right. So these are some of the things that that we are doing, we've done, and then we're also doing a lot more.
Wow, this is so rich. And what I picked from what you just mentioned, in short, in summary of all what you've been saying, is still beacon on education and awareness.
Bottom line.
Yes, that is the key word there. And I also love the fact that you are using the future champions to combat the future challenges. Not just these environmental challenges are not something we've been forecasting for, that this thing will happen in the next 100 years, 50 years, 10 years. It's already existing, and we are all experiencing this.
Sure.
So there is a need, and it's a huge call to everyone to start acting as an individual, as a community, as an organization, and also as an institution.
You see, let me jump in very quickly so that there's something we're trying to do. We're setting up a platform that will make it easy for people who want to plant trees around them to just request for a tree, right, and plant. And then they can nurse it. They have access to all the information they need to be able to plant trees and nurse them. Now, we're doing this because if we don't do it, then we don't know who will. All right, so it's part of our own initiative to carry our community along. So there are several trees, economic trees, trees for leisure, different types of trees. And so very soon on our platform or on the PFC website, you can have access to ordering for a tree free of charge. Today, we donate trees to different organizations, agencies, schools, and we're also trying to work out, some arrangement with even the government, so we can also donate trees, that they can plant on the road. You see, sometimes they are opening new roads, but we don't have trees on those roads.
That's true.
All right, so we need some of these things, actually, and we're working towards that.
Thank you so much, sir, for educating us more on some of the environmental issues, where you mentioned and plastic pollution. I must say, in the last 5 years, Nigeria was ranked as number 9 position as the hottest waste single plastic waste in the whole world. But as at last year, October, another research showed that Nigeria is now number 2, and which that means this thing, because of our daily activities we indulge in, these environmental issues that you listed, we are, instead of us reducing, we are increasing. So that means individuals have a great role to play, communities have great roles to play, and organizations also have great roles to play, and that's why this platform is created, to create that awareness.
Exactly.
Also, now we know that these persons, these identities there's a special role to play. So what role, I want us to know now, what particular role do you think these individuals, communities, and organizations can play in mitigating these environmental issues?
So first and foremost, you cannot do more than you know.
Yes.
Right? So you can only function based on what you know.
Yeah.
And that's why we think sensitization is very important. I think the government, I don't know if the government is doing enough with respect to sensitizing the public on the impact of our practice, right? Like you said, Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world, or one of the countries in the world that is highly ranked, when it comes to the use of single that's the I don't want to say the use of single-use plastic, but of course in Nigeria here we do it a lot.
We don't just use it, we don't just use it, but we don't have a proper means of controlling. And also you made mention of the individual rules, and government does not have a platform to educate people on what to do. Yes, we know that this pollution
that government does not have platform.
Okay.
Government has platform.
Okay.
But whether government is doing the job adequately, it's a different ballgame. But the government, of course, has platform. All the schools in the country, they have access to them. So if they want to educate, it can be built into the curriculum of our children. Okay, so children grow up, or they learn math, English, and then also carry these things along. Okay, so this is I think the government has a platform, just so that
Okay, thank you so much. So also what you mentioned here is proper awareness from the government. Yes, to educate the people the need to mitigate, or the need to reduce some of this pollution when it comes to plastic pollution. Okay, thank you so much on that. And also lastly, we want you to give us the platform Pfsee has in collaboration with other stakeholders in advance. Is there any room for that?
Yeah, so today you see, you can't function in isolation, right? And as Pfsee, we're not even interested in doing that. So we have been partnering with quite a number of organizations. We're in partnership today with Ministry of Education. We are in partnership with Ministry of Environment. We're in partnership with the Abuja Environmental Protection Board. We're in partnership with CODAF. We're in partnership with the Swedish Embassy. We're in partnership with the Rwandan High Commission and several other organizations. And we're open to partnering with anybody, institution, government, individuals, organizations that find what we do at Pfsee interesting, because we think that if everybody comes together, we can reduce this thing a lot faster. Permit me to use this phrase. The Bible says one will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. If Pfsee is able to do 2,000 or 5,000, then imagine where we have 10 organizations come together. We'll be able to do a lot more. So I think together we can achieve, so we're open to this collaboration. And I think, in the coming days and weeks, and then of course the coming episodes of this Ecopod, we're going to be, of course, having other partners come to talk about other aspects of this of our environment. All right. Audience, just stay tuned. You get to hear a lot more. about the environmental challenges, and then of course what different organizations and individuals are doing to helping us manage our environment. But if it's in terms of collaborations, we are currently collaborating with a lot of organizations, and then we're open to collaborating with a lot more.
Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations once again for this inaugural launch of Ecopod with Pfsee. Thank you for giving us this platform for the audience to learn and also make their contributions when it comes to environmental sustainability, education, and conservation. We really want to appreciate you more that as we join other episode of Environmental Talk, where we will be featuring more experts on environmental issues, environmental warriors, and the rest of that. I believe the audience too, you'll be learning so many. Hope you learned a lot from our guests. Sir Austin Igwe, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
In today's show. Really appreciate you. Hope to see you subsequently in other episodes when the need arises. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
To our wonderful audience, thank you for joining us in the inaugural episode of Eco Talk with Pfsee. Hope you've learned a lot from what the director shared with us today. Also, stay tuned for more exciting episodes as we dive into thoughtful discussions, insightful interviews with experts, and innovative solutions for sustainable tomorrow. Thank you as we meet in our next episode. Bye.